Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to show you all some builds with the new St. Elmo's Engine Exotic Assault Rifle that has been added to the Division 2 with the Year 5 Season 1 update. Now this exotic has been highly desired. It is easily the most anticipated item that was coming with this update, and that is because of the sheer utility it's going to have. It's one of those items that you don't really need to build around. You can slot it into builds that you already use, or just any type of setup, and it's going to enhance it. It's just one of those exotics. And so, instead of starting things off with pigeonholing you too much into one specific build idea, what I want to do is give you all 3 general build templates that are already really great for ARs that you can easily slot this into. It's going to work phenomenally. And if you like those, then great, feel free to use them, but also hopefully it can serve as some inspiration so that you can see the power of the gun, see how it works with some staples in this build class, and make your own ideas from there. But before we get to those, let me give you a showcase of the gun itself, show you the talent, and what it comes with. Alright, so here is the engine. It is pretty sweet. It's got the really cool lightning effect that is used also in the new capacitor redesign, but it's in the barrel there. Super awesome. Love how this exotic looks. So you see at the top it says, sometimes the most beautiful and dangerous phenomenon is natural. And this thing, like I said, has a very cool aesthetic. I roll damage targets out of cover onto it. Keep in mind that this is under the new exotic rerolling system, so if you go and reconfigure this, it will get a random third attribute every time. So if you get one with optimal range, swap speed, you're probably going to want to reroll it to one of the damage attributes, and I went with damage to targets out of cover. Moving down to the talent, it says, shooting an enemy with this weapon will give 1 stack. At 100 stacks, the next magazine will be filled with shock ammo. So super simple, but incredibly effective. A full magazine of shock ammo is nothing to mess around with, especially on these builds that we're going to get into that have such great stopping power and such a huge amount of damage. But the real kicker, in my opinion, is the mods that this thing's come with. You can see it at the bottom here, where the sight gives you 20% crit damage, the muzzle is 20% crit chance, you get 20% weapon handling from the grip, and 30 round magazine for a total of 70 rounds in the mag. This thing has incredible stats, a very good talent. It's just like, what's not to love, right? So hopefully you're starting to see why this is one of those exotics that is going to be so universally good across a variety of build types. So let's get into some of those templates and show you how it works. Starting with Heartbreaker. Heartbreaker is, as many of you know, a staple in the class of AR builds in general. It has a super simple but effective functionality in that landing headshots on enemies applies a pulse for 5 seconds, and then once you have enemies that are pulsed, hits on the build-up stacks that give you weapon damage and bonus armor, 2 of the most important stats in combat in the game. And with the likes of the 70 round mag, with the fact that you can stun so many enemies with the shock ammo, it just works super well with the engine. So on the setup, I of course have the engine itself, and then for my secondary, I have the ACS-12 shotgun, which is one of the best weapons in the game to build up stacks, and of course Heartbreaker deals with stacks, so it's really great for that. If you hit one headshot with one of the pellets, then you can build it up super fast. For the gear, I'm running 4 Heartbreaker, including the chest piece for it, because that gives you the amplification talent of increasing the amount of total stacks that you can build. I believe it takes it from 50 to 100, so that allows you to get double the amount of damage and bonus armor, so that's a no-brainer. I'm using the Memento Exotic Backpack, which you will see is on all of these builds because, again, it's just so good. I think most of you know that by now. So we're getting the 3 cores there and all of the damage and armor-based bonuses that comes with. Then I have the Fox's Prayer knee pads for the multiplicative damage bonus. Since we're not using a high-end chest piece to take advantage of the talent that would give us, from my testing, the Foxes give you more damage than just the one-piece flat weapon damage bonus of like Fenris, for example, so that's why we have it in there. I'm building crit on this entire build, so any attribute mod slot, it's all going towards crit, and as long as you have 50% chance, maybe a little around there, a little bit over, then pour the rest into crit damage, you'll be set. I'm running 2 blue armor cores because I tend to go on the lower side so I can build more damage, and that's just kind of my general playstyle, but of course if you need more, do it, and these are all templates, so do as you will with it anyway. And also on all 3 of these templates that you're going to see, I'm running the gunner specialization, works really well with, again, my type of playstyle. You get a lot of great RPM bonuses, extra bonus armor, stuff like that. It also gives you access to the Banshee Pulse, which I really love using as one of my skills. It's great for locking enemies down, getting easy damage on them, stuff like that. And I have the Revive 5, and again, all 3 of those are going to be on all 3 of the builds, but I'll point that out again. So that's Heartbreaker. If you like damage while getting some of that bonus armor for that extra survivability and tankiness, this could be a good set for you. Moving on, we get to Umbra. Now, if you want a bit more versatility in your loadout, Umbra could be a good setup for you. The gear set focuses around huge bonuses that you can get when you utilize cover in the middle of your combat and gameplay. While you're in cover, you build up stacks of RPM and crit, both of which of course are going to work well with the St. Elmo's engine, and while you're out of cover, you build up healing that will then apply when you go back into cover. And so again, specifically because the St. Elmo's engine has that 20% crit damage and crit chance attachments, it works super well with Umbra to get the crit bonuses there, to get the extra RPM, to make this soar well over 1,000. I mean, it's just really great. So on the setup, we of course have the engine itself, the secondary, and the sidearm are totally up to you. It doesn't really matter too much with Umbra since we're not building up stacks with our weapon itself. I'm using for Umbra, again, using the chest piece as well because the amplification talent doubles the amount of stacks that we get for the damage portion of the build. If you wanted the additional healing stacks for how the gear set functions, then you could swap that out on the Memento, but however you want to do that. But I am running the Memento again on this, like on all three of the builds here. And once again, because we are not using a high-end chest piece to get the talent there, we are using the Fox's Prayer for that multiplicative damage bonus. Crit is going on to all pieces. You do want to make sure you're close to the crit chance cap on this one, so as close to 60% as you can get, and that's because the crit damage is going to be boosted so heavily by the Umbra bonus. So even if your crit damage seems to be lacking a little bit on the passive side, and when you're looking at the stat sheet, keep in mind that if you're using the Umbra chest piece, your crit damage will go up by 100% when you're at full stack, so it's a really nice bonus. Because of the healing functionality of the set, I'm only running the one blue that comes on the Memento, so essentially 6 reds. But of course, as always, change it as you like. If you want some more armor off the bat, not having to worry and rely on the heal so much, then go for that. And once again, we have the Gunner specialization to get the Banshee, to get all those good bonuses, and the Revive Hive. So Umbra offers you a bit more of that flexibility. You get some new different abilities to use. You get some of the healing, the RPM, works super well. It's super fun, so use this one if you want to. Alright, and last but certainly not least, we get to Striker. If you want all damage all the time, Striker is the way to go. It is a very simple set to understand. The more shots that you land on enemies, the more stacks of damage you build up. That's all there is to it. Now, as for the build, if you've been watching me for a little while, you might know that this is my go-to build before this update dropped that I usually use with the Eagle Bear, but as I said at the beginning, what I've done is just slot the St. Elmo's engine in, and it works fantastically. So on here, we of course are using the engine and the ACS for those stacks, the same as the Heartbreaker build. We are using 4 Striker on here, this time not the gear set chest piece though, as in my opinion, it is harder to retain the 200 stacks, but totally if you prefer that, go for it. Once again, as with the other builds, using the Memento, and then I have the Fenris chest piece on here, which gives us Obliterate, which works really, really well with the St. Elmo's engine 70 round mag. Even on other builds than the ones we're showing off here, Obliterate is a talent that synergizes really well with that high magazine size. On all of the pieces and mods here, we're speccing into crit, getting that above 50% value, and then pouring the rest into crit damage. And once again, same as the rest, we have the Gunner specialization, which gives us the Banshee Pulse, all those great bonuses, and the Reviver Hive. Alright everybody, well those are 3 really great build templates for ARs in general, but specifically to use with the new St. Elmo's engine exotic. They all offer you very different gameplay styles, and although they are very similar in their outcome, which is that they put enemies down, they do it in different ways. And so maybe you like a bit more tankiness, you go with Heartbreaker, you like more of that versatility, you go with Umbra, or you just want all the damage in the world, Striker is the way to go. Bottom line is they are all very powerful build templates, and they're all very basic, ready for you to tune it to your own preferences, modifications, whatever it may be. And so I'm excited to see what people's creations are going to be with this new gun and what kind of builds they slot it into. I very much hope you all enjoyed the video. If so, a like would be very appreciated, and be sure to click that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future build videos and other uploads from me. Let me know any and all of your thoughts on not only these builds, if you have any other suggestions or things that you're going to try out, but your thoughts on the St. Elmo's engine itself. If you didn't play the PTS and this is your first time with hands-on with it, what do you think of the talent? How does it handle? What do you think of the mods? Let me know your thoughts. That is going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold. Out.